Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. We will be reviewing the day's play between India and South Africa. Another enthralling day of cricket. It's just another 11-wicket day. It's only day two and we're already into the third innings. So exciting times for Test cricket, but just the timing of it probably won't need the 5 days. It probably will finish by lunch on day four. Looks like from the way the wickets are following. But some very exciting game cricket to look forward to. Yes, after a splendid performance by Virat Kohli getting the team over to 23, South Africa coming back, playing pretty well. I think they themselves had some good performances in Petersen, especially. Maharaj, who was a night watchman, actually played a pretty important innings for them as well, 25 runs. And in the end, Bumrah as well, giving them a little bit of support after they lost Delga, their hero from the last match, pretty quickly. So performance of the Indian bowlers also, like Bumrah coming back after a relatively poor first game, second game. He comes back in and third game picks up a five for the important double wicket over from Shami that really uh, changed the game in India's favor again, and a crucial 13-run lead. And with 70 runs of lead right now and two wickets gone, India will look to score about 200 to 30 runs to get that target or at least 300. Musti, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think fascinating day of cricket. It started off good for India, then it was South Africa all the way until I would say mid post lunch session, like or not mid, like towards the end of the post lunch session. I think the way Petersen batted, forgive me, you were right about him. The last test, I thought he got a drop chance, so like he just performed, but he is actually a very good player. The more I watch him, shot selection is really good. There's a few deliveries on the leg side which was easy for him to get away, but you have to understand the fact that he made the bowler bowl there because
Yeah.
kept frustrating them. He made them kept leaving the ball outside of stumps, slashing as well. So he forced the bowlers to bowl more towards the stumps, and he flicked it away for four. I think he batted really well. But it was that Shami over, man. I think that brought India back into the game. I'll tell you what I felt. I felt in the beginning, India should take a lead. Then I thought South Africa should take a lead of 50, 100. Then I thought India should take a lead of 40. Eventually, they took a 15-run lead. And I think you mentioned off air that a lead is a lead. And I think India will be happier because in the last test match, they had a deficit. And I wouldn't say, I don't know how much they were short. I felt that the bowlers also didn't bowl up to the mark. But Virat Kohli there, I think you already see there's a difference. He's, really jaying up his bowlers. Did you see him after that? One of the Shami's wickets, he was making everyone clap, even in the dugout. They're all having this clapping tradition. I don't know what that was, but all these little things they help on the field, and he keeps you on the toes as a bowler, keeps you motivated, and I think that's why they triggered that collapse. I think without Virat Kohli captain, maybe it would have been a 40, 50-run lead. I just feel in these kind of situations, you need to keep your bowlers going because I think he knows he batted the best on this pitch,
Yeah.
mind you, in terms of technique and everything. So he knows that there's a lot in this pitch for the bowlers. And like you said, I think they're looking for 250, 300. But to be very honest with you, anything above 200 can be defendable on this pitch if you bowl well.
We saw in the last Test match. There's a few things to your points. One is, of course, the importance of having Virat Kohli back as a captain. I think we have criticized him in the past, so we have to give him the credit right now where he
Yeah,
deserves it.
definitely.
I think he's been phenomenal as a red ball captain. At least he is the one who really changed the course of bringing in these fast bowlers, backing them, and like the likes of Umesh Yadav, who's probably not getting a consistent game as well. When he comes in, he picks up those important wickets, and he's bowling very well. To be very honest to him. We have criticized him in the past as well. He's a tad bit more expensive than maybe a Bumrah or a Shami, but he will get you those wicket-taking deliveries, and which is what you want in Test cricket. So hats off to that. He started that bowling revolution, and he said the India were number 7 when he picked up, and to bring them up in number 1 and consistently be there now for a couple of years is fascinating. Performance by Virat Kohli. You can criticize his white ball cricket, no doubt, but I think in red ball, I think he deserves to stake a claim as one of the top red ball cricket captains for India for sure. And the second thing you brought up was the fact that anything above 200 is defendable. But we saw with 240 target in the last game, we saw that the bowlers were trying to do too much and they were struggling with that. I think the bowling was a little lackluster because I felt like they probably had the pressure of the total in their head at all times. I think if you can get that to 300, it's a psychological advantage for India. I think with that psychological advantage, the bowlers can go out there and perform a little bit better. I'm not saying that 200 will not give them that performance, but I just feel like in the game in Test cricket after grueling 2-3 days, I think if you can just get that score to about 300, it'll be really helpful for India. Your thoughts on that?
That would be ideal, to be very honest with you. You have like what 3 days of cricket to go, so even if you
Yeah,
can get a lead of 400 and everything, would be amazing. But to be very honest with you,
the pitch.
300 for me is more. It's not realistic. Even though you'd be saying 300 in a test match is not a big deal,
Yeah,
but if you already look at this particular, just take out the second test out of equation. I know that South Africa won with 7 wickets, and
yeah, yeah.
fair enough, like, and that is kind of changing your mentality, which is completely fair. I'm not arguing against that, but I'm just looking at this test match in isolation. If you look at it, first innings 220, second innings even less. It could have been less than two, like a 13 run. It could have been a
210.
14.
Yeah,
Yeah, it could have been a 40-run lead. It could have been under 200. So
yeah,
let's just say 220, 210. If India, get to 250 even, then that's a 270 lead. South Africa, if they get there, then either India's done something very wrong with the ball, or like, Elgar's played another master class. And then you can't do anything about it. Because I think, to be very honest with you, in the second test match, you have to tip your hat off to Elgar, and you have to criticize the Indian bowling. And if that happens again, then okay. But to be very, very honest with you, it's not easy to bat on this pitch.
absolutely.
It's not easy.
100%. 100%. No doubt about
It's
that.
not easy, and but if one man can do it, it's the man batting right now, Virat Kohli. So don't. I hope I'm not dampening your hopes. I still think you can hope for a 300. I'm just saying from what I've seen so far in the Test match. I can be completely wrong. You never know. But he could play a master class, and they could be sorry. They could be
Your excitement is
three.
knows no bounds.
Flip my laptop. But yeah, they could be a 300, 320 run lead. But just from what I've seen so far in the test match, that's all I'm talking about. But well and truly, I think 300 would be the ideal target, very
Yeah.
honest with you. Then India will be comfortable. Then you can allow for those buys to go extra attacking field. I think what you're talking about is very true. If it's a 200 target or 220 target, then you still have a chance. But then the margin for error becomes very less. And I think to be very honest, even 250, 260 is a very good target. But I think because they've chased 240, that pass thing will affect India as well. But I just hope that the batsmen don't, put that in their mind. When they bat, they just have to play on this pitch. You have to take it one ball by ball. You can't even take it over by over.
Absolutely. So I mean, it's simple, right? You just from tomorrow morning, 100 runs for Virat Kohli, 50 runs for Pujara, and 50 runs for Rahane. That's all you need. 200 runs, 270 lead. You're in the game.
I mean that's you're not in the game. You're in control of the game, and you're in the driver's seat. If that happens, I think
Yeah.
then there's a big chance for India to win.
From
But
South
yeah, I
Africa's
think
perspective,
yeah,
sorry, I
from
didn't mean
South
to break
Africa.
you off. Yeah,
No, I mean, from South Africa's perspective, I think that's good. We're talking about South Africa as well. That I think they would look to wrap India up between
below
that
200,
200 to 50. Yeah,
below
below
200
200, but
lead.
yeah, below 200 lead. But I think they'll have that confidence that we can chase 220, 230. But I think ideally on this pitch, if you're looking at from that thing, between 150 and 180, if they can restrict that lead, anything
Which
below
basically
200
gives
will
them
be
only
very honest.
110 runs more to play now, and they need 8 wickets
Yeah,
in that.
yeah, but man, wickets can go like this.
Yeah,
And Kagiso Rabada, he's the main man to watch out for tomorrow, to be very honest. Of course, with the help of Jansen and Gidi and Duan Olivier also can pick up wickets. He's also going to be dangerous tomorrow. So they can always turn the game around. But I think India in a very good position, 70 for 2. I know it's 58, 5 for 2, but if you calculated
yeah,
70
yeah.
right now. And these two will have to just keep on scoring those runs. And again, we talk about Rahane, Pant, but I think the tail's contribution is going to be very important, because if you see South Africa, the tail contribute 30 runs or 25 runs. That's very crucial, man. That India would have already got that 300, not already, but it would have been much easier to get that 300 lead if they got the South Africa tail, like India's tail got wiped out in the first innings.
Yeah, yeah, and this is something that India tends to struggle with a little bit. Although to be fair, they have contributed in the recent past. I think a few of them. You've seen Bumrah and Shami step up. Shardul Thakur, we can't really consider him as a tail ender, but he comes in at 8, which is almost like which is talking about the tail as well. But if Ash and Shardul can bring in about 20-30 runs as well, I think that really helps the overall target. That could be the difference between winning and losing this game. So I definitely agree. I think small targets for India. I think session by session, try to get maybe 50 to 70 runs every session, and they're good. And the whole idea, I think, there will be for them to play all 3 sessions. If they can get to about 50 to 70 in each session, I think they're in the driver's seat to get that 270 to 80 run lead, and hope for the best from over there. Just give it to the bowlers and let them do the talking. But this South African bowling unit is growing in confidence, no doubt about that. I think with every game you can see the likes of Jansen, he's bringing that height in, and he's bowling peach of deliveries. The ball although slightly overpitched, but the ball to KL Rahul was a good ball as well. Mayank got an absolute jaffa. He couldn't do much about it at all. So these kind of balls, you just need about 7 or 8 more of those, and you're done for the innings. So it's an exciting date to look forward to for day three as well. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, on day three, it's going to be very exciting. I think you mentioned the South African bowlers. I just wanted to quick word for Bumrah as well. I think picking up a
Oh yeah,
fifer
absolutely.
again. He started his Test career in South Africa, and I
At
think
this
there's a
over
special
at
uh,
Cape Town, yeah,
at Cape Town. That was the
yeah.
first Test match that
I
year.
think that was his
No,
first
he
Test
didn't
match.
play the.
Yes,
Yeah, it was his first Test match. He didn't
yeah.
play the first Test match, I think. But yeah, like you said, I think a very special moment for him, and he's doing really well. And there was I don't think 2020 and 2021 were his best years overall, but he's the class bowler. He'll always pick your wickets up. I think he bowled poorly in the last Test match, but he came back strong, picked up a fifer. Shami, game changing spell there, I think, because like you said, any lead on this pitch, 13 runs is quite a lot. Imagine India were trailing by 13, 15 runs. So right now the score would be 35 for 2.
Yeah.
Then you're not looking at 300, you're looking at 250 max, right?
Yeah.
So it does make a difference, that lead, and you have to give credit to the bowlers over there from India side of things. And from South Africa, we already mentioned Petersen, really good. Tomorrow, I think, this South African lineup is looking really good, and that's why you can't really judge what's in front of you. You have to beat any opposition. You can't just say, oh, they don't have players missing, they don't have De Villiers. It doesn't matter. Like, they still have class players, and on these pitches, they're very talented. They can exploit the thing. And I think what South Africa's why their lineup looks more threatening at times than India's is because of the variety. You have a left-hand tall fast
Yeah.
bowler, you have
Yeah.
Rabada, you have Nkiti, then you have Duan Olivier. So there's a bit more variety. And left-hand fast bowler, I think India needs to get back to that Zaid Khan kind of days, because it does make a big difference.
Yeah,
Of course,
you
he
have
has to be good as well.
the options honestly are
Thin.
somewhat I wouldn't want to say dry, because there are players out there that are bowling left arm pace, but I think to find a top level bowler to be able to jump into this team at the cost of someone like a Siraj or an Umesh will be hard work for them. So
Yeah.
there are some options available, definitely, but I think the pool that India is developing for fast bowlers, with the likes of Ishant Sharma also sitting in the bench and definitely giving them his wisdom as well. Those are kind of things that you like to see in Test match cricket, and hopefully more of that to come, and more of this continuance of the pool being created, so that there's not.
Oopsie. I I think we've lost Brar over here, but he was talking about Indian bowling, the variety. I think I'm getting him back. I got you back.
Yeah, I got. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, I know. So basically, you were talking about
The pool of bowlers that we have. So hopefully
pool of
that
bowlers.
continues. And it's just been a series where the bowling has shined. And the team that the better bowling performances has won the game. You saw in the first game when Bumrah and Shami was phenomenal in the first game. You saw them that they performed well. Yes, batting is there, but you haven't seen a century in this game, in this tournament, in this series so far, which is saying a lot. Yes, there was a 96 that was Dean
Sunil
Elgar.
Shetty will very angry
Oh,
with me.
KL Rahul. Apart from KL Rahul, sorry, KL Rahul in the first innings. Yes, I forgot about that. I forgot about KL Rahul. But
You understood what I
I
said, huh?
guess, huh? Yeah.
You got my hint.
It slipped my mind. KL had a phenomenal innings, but there have been a few very good innings. But I think the bowling has really is the story. The batsman can win you, I guess, sessions, but bowlers will win you the Test matches. So that is what I think is very important. Dean Elgar also was close to a century, so I think I should probably eat my words over there. But I'm
Yeah,
just
no.
saying the bowling
Look,
has been more
honestly,
important.
like, just to put it in a different context, I think bowlers, like, they win you series because you have to pick up 20 wickets to win a game. India didn't pick up 20 wickets in the last game; they lost
Yeah.
that match, right?
Yeah.
So it is important. It is very important. Equally, like, on these pitches, the batsman's contributions become vital, because if, like, a KL Rahul, he scored 100 out of 300 runs, so he made the difference in that game. Elgar, his innings made the difference. So I think there's contributions from both departments. But yes, at the end of the day, if you don't pick up wickets, you don't win the game. So the wickets are also very important
I agree
in
100%.
that sense. But yeah, I think Bumrah and Petersen were the players today, and this is going to be a cliffhanger, man. It can go any way. I don't really want to predict what's going to happen, but I want to ask you if Virat Kohli is going to score 100 tomorrow.
Bro, I already called it, but Virat scoring 100
You called it every innings. He hasn't made it yet.
and Puji and Ajinkya are scoring 50s.
Yeah, one thing I just wanted to add was that I don't know if you noticed this, particularly in the first session, the slip fielders are a bit deep. Virat Kohli himself,
Yeah.
two of the deliveries fell just short of him. You should have seen Shardul Thakur stare. He's like, "What are you doing?" And then, but I think that's something also. The Indian bowlers were very disciplined today, but
Yeah.
they didn't get the rub of the green, if you may say so. In occasions, a lot of plain misses, drop catches as well. That also did not help, and I think when they do come out in the fourth innings, they have to be more disciplined and put pressure on South Africa. But this is a very high intense test match, and I think if you ask me which two batsmen would you want batting at day 3 with the lead, I think these are the two batsmen. So let's see. Yeah, let's see. It can swing either way though, because if Rabada comes full fire and picks them up early, then India's in trouble.
You saw this morning in the first over of the day, you got Markram out. The pressure always goes back to the batting team. So if India can, if Pujara and Virat can play the first 30 minutes out without losing a wicket, I think it's advantage India, and they can build from over there. I think it'll be small sessions, play the first 30 minutes out and then try to go to lunch, and then play the 30 minutes after lunch and then try to go to tea, and so on and so forth. I think just small victories, small moral victories, and try to bat 70 runs each session. That's 210 runs, and you're golden. I think at that point you're golden, because you have a target of 280, and that's a very, very challenging target on this pitch. That is my hope for India. For South Africa, I think get them all out by tea for the next 100, 120 runs. Have that lead below 200, and have that target below 200, and then just go out there, stamp your authority in the rest of the time, and come on day 4 and finish it off. That would be South Africa's way of going about it, I think.
Yeah, and also I would want to be patient, because I understand that if they get off to a partnership, they can really like lose things and stuff like that. But I don't think they should worry, because in that last test match, Pujara and Rahane had 113 run partnership, which was the highest in that match. So, but despite that, they still got allowed India, and there's only a lead of 240. So South Africa have to be patient. Even if Kohli and Pujara get off to a start, even if they're unbeaten in that session, South Africa still have a chance on this wicket. You always have a chance, so you have to be a bit patient. I think field placement will be important as well, and I don't think they should go too defensive. So you don't want to give India those singles. You have to keep picking up wickets on this kind of pitch, and you will get chances. Whether if Virat Kohli gets dropped or something, then you're playing into India's hands. Otherwise, I think South Africa are still in this game for sure.
Well, absolutely, it's open for both teams. Any team can win. So that's the excitement of Test cricket at this point in time. So let's see how that goes. That wraps it up for day 2. An exciting day to look forward to, and obviously we'll be here tomorrow as well talking about it. But anything that you really think that out of the blue that's going to happen tomorrow?
Rishabh Pant scoring 50 of like 18 balls.
I like that.
And then showing his bat to Van der Dusen. Point the bat to Van der Dusen. But I think Rishabh Pant, to be very honest with you, I think Rishabh Pant can be the game changer. I always say this, but just on these pitches, if you see quick runs do help. So it's just about him hitting the right shots.
If he can get a 30 also, that will also be a big deal, because even 20-30 runs in this situation, it just changes complexion of the tips the advantage of the other side of completely. Pant can get you 30 runs of 30 balls, that changes it completely, because if he gets out for 0, it's a completely different story, right? So, which is what we have seen him do, unfortunately, in the past, and he's due a big one. I have a feeling it's just somewhere around the corner. It might not be this game, but it's gonna come soon. So let's see how that goes.
No, definitely. And that kind of play actually suits in South African conditions. You can criticize all the batsmen as much as you want, but these are not easy conditions. Absolutely. Like, I wouldn't be wanting to bat over there. And the score said, it's not just me. Look at the average score in the series. It's been 200, right? Like, it's not been more than I haven't seen 300 plus scores except for maybe one time. So I think you have to give credit to the pitches, the bowlers. You have to respect that. As a batsman, also you have to understand, if I don't get 100, it's okay. Virat Kohli, he missed out on 100. We're all upset about it, but it's okay. That 75 was crucial in the context of the game. 79. It allowed India to take a lead. 79. Sorry, Phil. 79. 75 was my. I'll tell
What?
you, I can give you a valid excuse why I said 75. That
What?
was my fantasy score. I've been looking at it because I didn't have one guy captain, and I just kept looking at it. So that's why I
Yeah.
had that. Yeah, but 79 it's crucial in that context, right? You take Virat Kohli out of that equation, and
Oh yeah.
which he was in the second test, and India wouldn't be in that position. So I
Absolutely.
feel that you have to take runs in that context. But everyone will have their opinion. You can have your opinion. You can say that whatever you want, but I'm just saying take the pitch kind of into consideration.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. I think, yeah, I think that wraps it up. Looking forward to day three tomorrow, and we'll be right here after it.
I absolutely can't wait, man. Just want to say beautiful scenery, beautiful, a really good game. It's
Yeah,
perfect place. Wish we were at the stadium, but
it will be fun. Yeah.
yeah, stay tuned for day three. It should be a cracker.
Yep. Indeed.
Thank you, man.